flip it over and take a look inside, see if there's anything I can clean on the internals without taking out too much of the console's internals, and then maybe wipe off the laser. Maybe that'll help a little bit. I had a PS2 that I got from Goodwill for $20 back maybe like 5 years ago, and it wasn't reading any discs, even DVDs. And I opened it up, I wiped off the laser, and that actually made it run games. I can even play like Silent Hill 2, and it's still running to this very day at my friend's house. So we're going to do that now. Flip it over. A little bit of stuff on my desk kind of got on the bottom of the console, but that's okay. I'm not sure if this will work, but I'm going to try using a flathead screwdriver to remove these feet, because the feet have to be removed. Some of these are stickers, like these ones here are sticker feet. These ones are like pegs that are inserted into the console, as well as these two are pegs inserted into the console. And then I'll keep them safe so I don't lose them, so I can put them back when I'm done. But there are 8 feet that you have to take off with screws underneath. Don't know if this is going to work. I have to use my fingernail. Okay, fingernail works, and as you can see, this is one of the ones that's just like a plastic peg that snaps into the console. And I guess it is easier, and actually really easy, to get them off with just your fingernail. Whereas these sticker ones are going to be harder to get off. There's another one. And you want to kind of be careful with the sticker ones, because they are sticker, but they're also like a soft material to keep the console from sliding around on the surface. So with those, you could damage them if you're not careful enough, and you don't want to rip them because you want to replace them when you're done. Additionally, I'm going to clean inside the screw holes. I don't know if this is the same video as the one where I cleaned the console or not, but I just finished cleaning off the console surface, outside and exterior. I'm going to try to get these stickers off with the flathead screwdriver. Oh, my bad. They're not really stickers. They're just the same kind of pegs with a softer nub on the top. So I'll keep the ones with the nubs in a separate place, because those are more specific place on the console. These come up really easily with a flathead screwdriver, so you just kind of apply a little tiny bit of pressure. And I'm just wiping them off because there is a little bit of dust in the grooves still, or dirt from wherever this console was originally. The slightest pressure with this will get them out. Like, I mean that in like the most accurate way, that just the slightest amount will pry it up, and then you just pull it up with your fingernail or finger. You'll probably get away with doing it without any screwdriver, but to pry it open, but I'm doing it that way anyway. So I'm going to clean off inside here, just real briefly. Now I'm going to switch my screwdriver to the other side. And hopefully this is the right size. If it's not, I gotta get another one. It looks like all these screws are the same size. They might be different lengths though. I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew all these now, one by one. There's some dust flying around. Look how long that is. I mean, the screw part is only that part right there, but that's a long screw. And if I do realize that these are different sizes, I'll keep them in separate piles, but for now they're all the same size. I can kind of tell this console's been refurbished already. These screws are fairly loose. Yeah, this one's a smaller screw. At least that last screw, it was like not screwed in like as tight as you would think it would be screwed in. So I can kind of tell that this console's been opened and refurbished, because I know it has, because it says it on the bottom of the sticker. I don't know who refurbished it, short one. Should be the last screwdriver or screw that I have to unscrew for this part of the console to remove the top. Now you want to be very careful when taking this console apart. It kind of opens up in two shell parts, but what you want to do is you want to kind of pull it open, but not pull it hard, because there's a ribbon cable that is attached from the controller port area on the top half of the console shell to the bottom half of the console shell on the motherboard, or close to the motherboard. So you don't want to rip the ribbon cable, that'll mess everything up, and then you don't want to damage it in any way. Try to get these screws out, they're kind of like jammed in there weirdly. I think they're unscrewed, they were just like stuck in there. Got that one out. It's the same size as the other ones, by the way. The other short ones. I don't know why they didn't want to come out on their own, but there they are. So now I've got all the screw holes, or screws taken out of the screw parts. I'll flip it over. I keep getting dust on it from previously on the console surface, so I'm going to have to dust it off one more time, but when we're done. But I believe what you do is you lift it up from the back here. The front is where the controller ports are, as you can see. So the back is the back of the console. You pull it up like that. This is like pulling up the top plastic of the console. And you slide it forward to get it out of the controller area. Maybe a little bit higher than that. Kind of opens almost like a book in a way. Just gonna be very careful with it, not to break anything. Not sure exactly how high up it goes. It's almost off. And there might be another screw. Let me double check this. I think this is all there is though. Because it's kind of getting stuck. It could be stuck on dust and debris, but I don't want to force it at all. This is what I get for not using a guide, but I think you just kind of lift it and then pull it forward or push it forward out of its port. That doesn't sound good, but it could have just been crust. Let's see if I can get this off. There we go. That sounded really loud, like something broke, so something might have broken. I do notice that this ribbon cable, I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, but it has like a bend in it. It doesn't look like anything necessarily broke inside it. Let's slide this part forward and this part forward too. Remember, they're attached with this ribbon cable here, so you don't want to do anything with that. And it looks like the ribbon cable has a sticker on it. I don't know if that's like, see it right there, there's a sticker on it. I don't know if that's like from the repair or what. Here's the console itself on the inside. I guess I can reach the fan in the bottom of the console. I mentioned that in the previous one where I was cleaning the console, that I couldn't get the fan blades, but now I can get the fan blades right there. Additionally, if you want to get to the laser of the console, the disc tray is right here, so you want to unscrew these little screws and then get in there, and once you take this black plastic part off, you can get to the laser and clean it off with a Q-tip. Additionally, I'm going to clean a little bit around the edges because I do see some dust that I wasn't able to reach from the outside. There's some dust right there. Just kind of wipe down most of it overall. In the top half, there's not too much to see, but there is a big dust cloud right there, like a bug or a spider might have been hanging out in that little corner. So I'm going to clean that off right now. And hopefully I didn't damage the shell. It kind of made a loud pop and was a little bit more stubborn to get apart than I remember, but it's been a while since I've done a cleaning of a console like this. Or I mean, a cleaning of the PS2. Look at all that. That was just in that one corner. There was like dust collected in that corner for some reason. Hope I didn't damage anything. These cracks where there's or the seams, not the cracks, but you know what I mean, the seams of the console where dust likes to collect. I'm going to take my cleaning cloth and wipe down the inside here. It's not that bad or dusty in here really, but just in case. The underside of the disc tray that you don't normally see. Alright, so I cleaned off a little bit more. I cleaned off the fan with a Q-tip, like basically sticking it on the blades, which cleaned off a little bit more dust actually, more than I thought. Try to pick up some dust here and there, and yeah, it seems like dust is just accumulating on this thing because it didn't run the dust for so much time. So even when I wipe it off, like, it seems like more of it just starts to stick to the surface on different parts of the console. But the only other thing I'm going to do is take a smaller screwdriver, which is the screwdriver kit, and I'm going to unscrew these screws here. There's 4, I believe. There might be another one. And this will remove the top part of the disk drive, and I'll clean off the laser real quick. I won't do an extensive clean of the laser. You can actually clean it more extensively where you clean the underside of the laser. The lens for the laser, not the laser itself. But it's very close to the laser when you do it that way. But I'm just going to clean the outside of the lens, and that's what it's, in the past, that's worked for me to repair a PS2. I don't know if it'll work this time. It probably won't do anything. It might even mess it up. But in the past, that's all I've needed to do to clean off a PS2 and get it to run. So we'll test out the PS2 towards the end of this video too. See if I can get these tiny screws out of here without stripping them. Seem like they're working pretty well. There's one tiny screw. Let's see this one. That screw. All these screws appear to be the same size so far. This last screw might be a little different shape or size. No, it's the same size. Okay. So now, I'll take this top piece off, which I'm not sure how it comes off exactly. I think it just kind of lifts. Let me double check. Looks kind of dusty under there too, so I'm going to have to wipe that off. Wipe it away from the console so the dust doesn't just fall into the console. It's not too bad, it's just kind of dusty. So I dusted that off. It should be better than it was. Now you can see this is the inside of the disc tray. This is what comes out when you press the eject button and you see this tray on your PS2 before it loads in the disc. So what I'm going to do with this is, that's the laser lens right there. That yellow part with the clear part, I think it's glass, it's a lens that has the laser underneath. You can actually lift this part up and reach underneath with a Q-tip and clean the bottom half of the lens, but for now I'm just going to clean the outside of the lens. And once again, this isn't really for me to repair my console, it's mainly to clean it, because I'm mainly going to mod it to play games off of a hard drive, or play games from other regions at least. It'd be cool if I could play on disc too, but for now this is what I'm working on. So I'm going to take a Q-tip. This is the dry side of the Q-tip. I'm just going to wipe off the lens very carefully. Don't put too much pressure on it, because I'm noticing that the lens can move up and downward. So just the slightest amount of pressure. I'm going to clean it off one more time. And this is my microfiber cleaning cloth. I'm just going to wipe it down with this. I don't know if this will help any better than the Q-tip, but we're going to try it. We're going to take one more fresh Q-tip and wipe it off real quick. A little bit of dust on this ribbon cable too, and a little bit of dust in there. Might as well get as much dust out as you can. Wipe this off. Oops. Wipe this off. Alright, that's about as good as it's going to get, so I'm going to screw everything back together, put it back together, and I'll power it on and see what it does differently. I didn't show it before I got it, but if it can read any discs, that's good by me. If it can't, it's for modding. It's alright. Let's put all this stuff back where it belongs. And I'm going to put the console shell back together carefully once again. So I can't see. That was a lot easier to put back together on the shell than it was to take it apart. It must have been stuck together with some dust or something. I'm going to flip it over, clean off the bottom, some dust and dirt fell out of it once again. I'll wipe it all off once again. Alright, all the screws should be inserted and screwed in perfectly fine. So now I'm going to put these pegs back in. The pegs on the four corners were the ones with the feet, I believe. These ones down here are just flat plastic pegs that just snap right in. Any direction, doesn't matter. These two are flat because they go in, I believe, the middle. Unless I'm remembering that incorrectly, but they seem to work fine there. And then you got four pegs with kind of nudges on them to reduce the console slipping on tables or counters or entertainment centers. Push them all in really nice. Now I'm going to go ahead and wipe off the console one last time because there are some dust on my dirt on my table, and there was dust from moving around and opening the console. I'm going to go ahead and clean off every surface once again, just with a clean cloth, not the full extent. Up here, a little bit of dust, not too bad. And this part here, I actually see a little bit more dust in there. I'll get that now from this perspective. final part is the surface of the console. And the final part is the surface of the console where the PS2 logo itself is. Don't wipe it off. There we go. We've got our PS2 here. Now we're going to plug in the PS2 console. I'm going to hook it up to my Elgato capture device and attempt to play a PS1 game because it wasn't playing them at all before. We tested it with Upscaler. And then I'm also going to try a couple PS2 games, or at least one PS2 game, and then see what all goes on with that. But for the most part, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me clean off this PS2 that was pretty dusty, but not too terrible. It might give you some ideas on how to clean your PS2 on varying degrees of how dusty or dirty it might be. It's pretty easy to do. You don't have to open it like I did. There wasn't too much dust inside this one either. Another thing that helps that I didn't show on this video that I did outside this video was clean it off with a either compressed air can or a compressed air machine that can basically like a fan that's really strong that blows into the small parts to get the dust out of the fan and the little cracks on the console. But other than that, I did everything in this video directly today. So thanks for watching. Alright, so we're turning on the PlayStation 2. We are at the PS2 menu. This is without any disc inserted into the console. This is actually the first time I've had the chance to go through it at my home. I went through it and saw some of it a little bit at my work, Super Smash Games, once again, where I got it from. But I didn't actually play it myself, so I just kind of saw it being used and tested, and then we found out that it wasn't working. So now I'm setting up the clock adjustment just on the system config to the current day. This video will probably get posted quite a few days after the video that I post about cleaning the outside of the console, the external, and then this will just be a separate video. So once I set the time, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to change all the settings like daylight savings, digital output, optical. We're not using optical right now. I do have an optical cable and a soundbar that uses optical, so I could use that if I wanted to, but I use the HD Retrovision PS2 cables. What you're seeing right now is the HD Retrovision PS2 cables going through basically like a retro tank, but it's like a knockoff version of the retro tank, which works pretty good, called like Retro Bros or something like that. I got it on Amazon. It's about half the price of the Retro Tank 2X, but it does the exact same thing as the Retro Tank 2X Pro. So, yeah. These are like the best component cables for your PS2. So they're one of the best cables out there. And in many ways, they're better than HDMI adapters for PS2, like direct HDMI cables, because they use the, they don't use the RGB. It allows you to get progressive scan on certain PS2 games that are allowed to be 480p or higher in some games. I think there's only one game that does that, though. But there's quite a few games on the PS2 later on that have 480p resolution, which is really nice, and it looks really nice in the PS2. I don't think we're going to show anything with that today, though. Alright, we're going to put in the disc. Wow, it actually is reading the disc a lot faster than my PS2 Slim does, and it's more reliable than the PS2 Slim, because my PS2 Slim, there's something wrong with it where, like, I haven't been able to fix it just yet, but on the Slim, I have to, like, press it down in the very certain corner. We got a disk read error the first time. That's not a good sign. We're putting in a PS1 disc, by the way. Let me try that again. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and eject the disc tray and put it in one more time. Maybe I'll have better luck this time. It did say reading disc last time. Oh, there it is. Popped up. Even got CD playback on this PS1 game. This game is Independence Day. Yeah, I just picked a few games and DVDs that were off my shelf that were next to me within arm's reach. So these games aren't anything special necessarily. Well, maybe one of them is, but I picked a PS1 game, a DVD, and a PS2 game with a silver disc backing. So this is loading. That's really cool because we couldn't get PS1 games to load at my work. We tested it with Ape Escape at work, but we're testing it with Independence Day on the PS1, which is a game that I've never played before. My buddy Brian did I think he did a playthrough or a live stream of it before, and he gave me the disc. So this seems like it's starting up pretty good. All the logos are loading just fine. It looks great too. That's really cool. I'm really happy that this PS2 is working. There's another load screen. Maybe this wasn't the best game to choose all the load screens. Well, maybe it is, because we want to see if it loads. Press start run Independence Day. Boom! I've never really played this game, but I know it's similar to Star Fox, or like some of the Top Guns, or Ace Combat, but with an Independence Day movie setting. There's the demo playing. Let's see if we can actually get to the gameplay. Okay, cool. We can actually play the game. That's really cool. Oh my gosh, this game is... It's kind of neat, I guess. I'd have to figure it out some more to really understand what the game's like, but... It's alright, I guess, for a movie game. It's kind of ambitious. Kind of janky looking on the 3D, especially on the backgrounds, but... It's PS1, what do you know? Alright, so now we're going to go back to the... Reset the PS2. Go back to the browser, and we're going to put in a DVD. This DVD is the first disc of Berserk, which I had just on my shelf randomly. Oh, FBI warning. Watch out, kids. We're not really recording the actual show, so maybe if it's just the DVD menus, I won't get any copyright problems. If I do, I'll have to blank out this part of the video. So we'll find out later on, I guess. Got the logo. They were at the main menu. That's cool. Let's see if I can access it. Yeah, the menus load. The trailer part loads. Let's see if I can get to the actual video. Now, I've watched Berserk. It's one of my favorite animes, but this disc is the standalone disc for the DVDs. So it has like 4 episodes, and each disc was sold separately. I've never actually watched a specific disc before. I wonder if there's any differences in picture quality or whatnot. Now, recently I watched the Blu-ray version of this, so there's nothing better than that on the remaster. Oh, that's interesting. Either the font or something is a little different on this. I think it's the font. Like the English font, I mean. Because it's the same video. It's just, I think the font for like main character design is a little different. Anyways, let's get back to the focus of this video and not watch Berserk, because we'll probably get a copyright claim. Let's put in a PS2 game. Alternatively, a good way to test the PS2 is to have it load directly from the restart. So you want to load it directly as the system's starting up. But for this video, all I'm doing is just go into the browser. You could load it faster if you did it that way. In some ways, it kind of tests if the console's running better or not if you actually load it as the system starts up, is what I'm saying. But you can, either way, it doesn't really matter too much, as long as you get the games running in the long run, right? So, it looks like this PS2 game is running as well, and I don't think PS2 games were running on here before. We didn't test the DVD at work, but we tested PS1 and PS2, and I'm pretty sure neither of them were working, and this loaded up pretty quick. The console's fairly quiet too. I mean, it's louder than the Slim. Definitely louder than the Slim, especially with the bigger fan size. But yeah, it's fairly quiet. Didn't notice any dust flowing out of it. It didn't get too hot. Or too warm, really. Yeah, and it's loading this game up pretty quick. No problems at all so far. I still need to, in my own time, I'll probably test Blue Disc. And the other disc is gold type. I don't even know if I have any gold games. I might. I know one of them is the later Gran Turismo game is a gold disc. But I think that's the same as DVDs. It might not be. Because my DVD was a gold disc on Berserk. So it might be the same as that. But I don't know if I have a gold disc to test. There also is the ones with the blue bottoms. So those ones you gotta test separately too. Because they all like work a little differently with the laser on the PS2. I think that's about it. You'll probably see that I'll be using this console for PS2 games. I'll let you know when I play a PS2 game, such as a GunCon game, because those are coming up soon on my channel, some more GunCon 2 games. Like Time Crisis. If I'll be using I'll let you know if I'll be using the slim or the fat PS2 that we're using in this video. And then I'll try to keep that in mind. So that way we'll kind of keep an eye on how this PS2 is holding up throughout time. because I know they're all kind of going bad. But there's other things I could do to fix it and work on it some more. But for now, this just seems like a quick solution for possible temporary fix. But hopefully it'll last me longer than I expect. Alright everybody, thanks for watching today's Happy Weird Games. We cleaned a PS2, we cleaned the internals, we tested some games and discs, and it's all going good. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. Please be sure to leave a like, share it with your friends, subscribe today for more classic gaming goodness, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. I appreciate the comments in the previous video where I cleaned the exterior of the PS2, and for more videos like this, we also did a cleaning recently of the Nintendo Game Boy Pocket. So if you're interested in cleaning videos or any type of like basic repairs, you might find those interesting. Alright, thank you once again. Bye.